There's always been evidence connecting members of the Saudi government to the 9/11 attacks, members with close ties to the Bush administration. Now, newly obtained evidence strengthens this case, while leaving the question of the ultimate motivation for the attacks unanswered. Welcome to Collateral. Researcher Kevin Fenton, who's associated with cooperativeresearch.org, made a Freedom of Information Act request for an FBI timeline of the 9/11 attacks, which the 9/11 Commission report cited on 52 occasions in issuing its report. Thanks to Fenton, the timeline is now public, though it's still heavily redacted. The FBI timeline shows that at least one of the alleged hijackers had made future flight plans for after September 11th. And it also shows that members of the Saudi royal family appeared to be financing two other of the hijackers, a fact the 9/11 Commission covered up. Hijacker Hamza Al-Ghamdi, who was on United Airlines Flight 175, had booked a flight to San Francisco from Los Angeles for later that same day. He also had booked 3 other flights for later that month, which would have taken him from Rome to Casablanca, then on to Riyadh, and finally on to Daman in Saudi Arabia. Given that the 9/11 Commission left this information out of its final report, are we to take it that they thought it was irrelevant? There's more. The official story has the 2 West Coast-based hijackers, Khalid Al-Mihdhar and Nawaf Al-Hazmi, entering the U.S. on January 15, 2000, and then, 2 weeks later, meeting Saudi national Omar Al-Bayoumi by chance. Soon, Al-Bayoumi is acting as a patron to them, paying their expenses for rent and other things. But the new information indicates that the trio very likely met on the same day that Al-Mihdhar and Al-Hazmi entered the United States, not 2 weeks later. Al-Bayoumi's name is redacted in the new timeline, but according to 9/11 expert Paul Thompson, another mistakenly released FBI document names Al-Bayoumi's apartment as the place where Al-Mihdhar and Al-Hazmi are staying beginning on January 15, 2000 and lasting 2 weeks. Thus, it's very likely that Al-Bayoumi was waiting for them upon their arrival. RawStory.com's Larissa Alexandrovna has done excellent work teasing out the significance of this. Al-Bayoumi was living in San Diego since 1996, and he was working for a Saudi defense contractor earning $2,800 a month, even though he appeared to be doing no work. That contractor, Dala Avco, had long-standing ties to the Saudi Defense Ministry, which was headed by none other than Prince Sultan. Prince Sultan is the father of Prince Bandar, George W. Bush's close personal friend. That's the same Prince Bandar who visited with the president at the White House 2 days after 9/11, just before those mysterious flights airlifted prominent Saudis out of the U.S. Now here's the kicker. Coincidentally, about 2 months after Al-Bayoumi met the hijackers, his wife began receiving $2,000 a month from Prince Bandar's wife. Now, Prince Bandar's wife is also the daughter of the late Saudi King Faisal. So let's understand. Omar Al-Bayoumi, who is aiding 2 of the 9/11 hijackers, is receiving $2,000 a month from the daughter of the late Saudi king. Now, the money transfers were done indirectly, of course, allowing all parties to maintain deniability. But there's no denying the timing. The money started coming shortly after Al-Mihdhar and Al-Hazmi arrived in the United States. Figuring out what it all means is difficult, but according to cooperativeresearch.org's director, Paul Thompson, who also authored the terror timeline, the current bottom line is this. At the time of the 9/11 attacks, factions within the U.S., Saudi, and Pakistani governments all stood to gain from a big al-Qaeda attack on the U.S. Each faction had sufficient knowledge to put the brakes on the attack if it wanted to, but none did so. Hope to see you next week.